This war in Ukraine is stolen childhood on an unimaginable scale. You saw that stroller in the aftermath of the attack on the Kramatorsk train station that killed 5 children and wounded 16 other kids. We have seen parents writing personal and contact information on their children's bodies in case they are orphaned. That's according to the New York Times. And UNICEF says that nearly 2/3 of the kids in this country have been displaced from their homes, fleeing their cities for safer parts of Ukraine, fleeing Ukraine for safer parts of the world. But some never made it. 12-year-old Veronica died in Chernihiv as her family tried to escape shelling. Russian forces hit their car. As Veronica tried to run for safety, her mother told the BBC that she was killed as a shell came down near their car. In Kherson, according to ITV, 5-week-old Vanushka and his 6-year-old sister Sofia died when Russian soldiers at a checkpoint riddled their family's car with bullets. ITV told their story.
There were no survivors. Sofia, the family's golden girl, her mother and the children's grandparents, Anna, a teacher, Oleg, a dedicated grandfather, they all perished.
Their uncle listened to it on speakerphone. He said he heard the soldiers shoot the car to pieces. He told ITV that he heard 5-week-old Vanushka crying. He was clearly injured. He said Vanushka cried for 2 minutes, and then he went silent. 10-year-old Anastasia Stoluk, Nastia as she was known, died in Shibane, which is north of Kyiv. Her cousin told the Times of London that Russian soldiers shot their weapons at random. They struck and they killed Nastia. 18-year-old Mikita Parabanis and his 9-year-old sister Elisa, they died with their mother in Irpin. The New York Times capturing the moment that a Russian mortar struck a known evacuation route used by civilians fleeing the suburb of Kyiv. Mikita and Elisa's dad says he learned of their death after seeing a photo of their bodies on Twitter because he recognized the luggage that was lying next to them. He spoke to CNN's Aaron Burnett.
They were normal, cheerful children. My son was older. He was 18 and he was in 2nd year of university. He studied and wanted to become an IT professional. Studied programming. And my daughter was 9 years old. And she liked dancing, painting. She studied English. They were normal, cheerful children.
A cluster bomb killed another girl named Elisa, 7-year-old Elisa Hlans near Sumy, after it fell on her school, according to an Instagram post from the First Lady of Ukraine, Olena Zelenskyi. Elisa died with her grandfather as he used his body to try to shield her, according to the post. Russian forces shot and killed 10-year-old Polina Zapodenskaya and her parents as they tried to escape Kyiv in a car. They injured her 13-year-old sister Sofia and her 5-year-old brother Semyon as well. Semyon died a few days later after Polina at a children's hospital. That's according to the Telegraph. And his sister Sofia in critical condition at that time, unaware that she was the only member of her family left. Near Kyiv in Novopetrovsky, Russian forces shelled the home of 2-year-old Stepan Shpak, killing the little boy as he slept in his bed. His father, Oleg, burying him in a small coffin.
I don't know if there is a God. What is all this for? For what? A 2-year-old child who hasn't experienced life yet. A 2-year-old child who died for nothing.
4-year-old Sasha Yakhno was fleeing with his grandmother near Kyiv when the boat that they were trying to cross the Dnipro River in capsized. Voice of America reported that they were under heavy artillery fire at the time. His grandmother drowned, and Sasha's body was found last week, his mother said on Facebook. The Ukrainian government says nearly 200 children have been killed in this war here so far, but that is the official count, though it is likely a gross underestimate that doesn't include those killed in places where active fighting is underway, where officials are still working to confirm deaths. Like Mariupol, where the mayor says 210 children had died in his city as Russians lay siege to it. The Washington Post reporting this out of Finland, a protest, 210 little pairs of shoes symbolizing their lives. Russian forces bombed a drama theater in mid-March there as more than 1,000 civilians sheltered. Children clearly written in Russian on the pavement outside. Russian shelling killed an 18-month-old named Kirill in Mariupol. Sky News capturing footage of his mother, Marina, and her boyfriend running the toddler to the hospital. Doctors tried to revive him, but they could not save him. Marina, seen in a photo, kissing the lifeless body of her little Kirill. Russian forces also bombed a maternity hospital in Mariupol, injuring this pregnant woman. The picture of her on a stretcher shown around the world. A surgeon performed a C-section, but told Ukrainian television that the child did not survive and neither did the mother. And there's so many more that we don't have pictures or names of. Human Rights Watch has documented the death of a 14-year-old in the village of Vorzel. Near Kyiv. Russian forces threw a smoke grenade into a basement, and as the teen and a woman fled from their shelter, they were both shot. An Associated Press photographer says he witnessed the death of a 6-year-old in Mariupol. Russian forces shelled the building where she was staying, and she was wearing unicorn pajamas. As an ambulance rushed her to the hospital where she died. So many have been injured, so many others. 15-year-old Masha, pardon me, from a small town near Zaporizhia. She had her right leg amputated above the knee. She had her right hand shredded by shrapnel, according to investigative reporter Tanya Kozyreva.
It's a town where there is no military bases and there's no military objects, and she just caught this shrapnel into her body while she was walking around her town with her mother.
Russian forces shelled the car that 11-year-old Milana was riding in as she escaped Mariupol with her family. According to Kozyreva, the head of the intensive care unit where she has been treated, says that many of his Russian friends, they don't believe the pictures. They do not believe that the pictures of these kids are real. They think they are fabricated by the Ukrainians. But they are real. Veronica, Vanushka, Sofia, Nastia, Makita, Elisa, Paulina, Sofia, Semyon, Stepan, Sasha, Kirill, Masha, Milana, and so many others whose names we don't know. We'll be right back. Even as a nation where many have become numb to this astronomical loss, I know that these stories of our fellow Americans puncture that armor that is natural to have accumulated over the past year, and that's okay. We need to remember the people that we have lost. It's the worst story I've ever covered, and I'm sick of covering these. You know, it's so hard. I think it's so easy to become numb when you're watching it. And sometimes I think that's to protect ourselves. But, you know, these parents are doing amazing work. But these lives, they can't be in vain. Russian forces shelled the building where she was staying. And she was wearing unicorn pajamas. As an ambulance rushed her to the hospital where she died. Russian forces shelled the building where she was staying, and she was wearing unicorn pajamas.
Could you tell me about that?
as an ambulance rushed her to the hospital
Ну,
where she
я это
died.
называю войной в
So
онлайне.
it's the worst story
I
I've
call
ever
this the war
and
online
I'm sick of covering
because we used to be
it's-
in our family, we used to use
so hard.
Google
I think it's
geolocation,
so easy to
and
become
we used
numb
to see each other with my
when you're
wife
watching it.
on
And sometimes
Google
I think that's
Maps.
to protect ourselves.
And that
but,
morning,
these
I
parents are doing
noticed
amazing
that there
work.
was a
高请上来举行隆重默哀仪式。看看今天晚上来了那么多亲人们、朋友们、知男知女们、父老乡亲们，他们来看你来了。ஐயா உங்க புண்ணியர வயிற்றில நான் பிறந்தது இந்த இடத்துல வந்து நான் அழுத ஒரு கஞ்சலி செலுத்துறதுக்கு அந்தே ஷாக்